So I think the closest naval base is going to be, say, here and here. So we'll have our Marines start there. And grab that. And then the rest of our force... That's heavy. I guess... How are we doing on infantry equipment? Okay, we've got a surplus. Great. So let's just train up a bunch more Marines. One more. So we're going to trade another 8 units of Marines over here, which is actually a little bit more than we have equipment for. Okay, let's go with 6. Your location has to be back on the mainland. Train up over there. Or mainland. My main island is what I meant to say. And we'll go and take all 3 ports there. Marines fight a lot better in the naval invasion than anyone else. But I suppose these guys here, I will split off some more regular infantry. And we'll plan a few others, because a lot of this will probably be undefended. Actually, let's make a new army over there. Alright, so Teal Army, I think, is going to stay mostly back on the mainland, or be ready to ship out later. So I'm just going to put them on with no orders. I'm going to tell them for now, just garrison our new territory over here, keep the revolt risk low, and then we'll get you to deploy out later on. So let me make maybe a new front with Action Group Teal here. Or they can still be called the Chinese Front. Actually, let's make a new front with the new army. This is going to be... Oops. Select you. Do that. There we go. Dutch Islands. Icelands. Come on. There it is. Boom. And you know what? You guys are all high priority for reinforcements and resupply. They won't surrender until you conquer Europe as well. Yeah, I know. I know that. That's what I've been saying. Because there's no victory points here. At all. I think we have to wait until the Axis starts some shit. I think we have to wait until the World War starts. Because then they will surrender and we'll take those holdings. Especially if we join the Axis. Yeah, Singapore would be nice. That's the UK. I really feel like Twitch is leading us down a bad avenue here. I know that Twitch chat always wants more war and craziness, but I'm actually getting pretty goddamn convinced. Well, I've been convinced the whole time. That's just a terrible idea. Because what it will do, at some point the Netherlands will join the Allies. It'll bring us into a war with everyone else before we're actually interested in doing that. I'm pretty sure it's terrible. Now, unfortunately, you can't change your national focus. So we're going to finish reinforcing the Soviet border regardless, which is actually going to lead to an extra point of world tension. And, oh, there's 25% world tension. So actually, as soon as we get a claim on here, Netherlands independence is going to be guaranteed. So never mind. Abort the plan. We're not doing an invasion of the Dutch islands right now. We are going to actually build up our industry. We're never going to win if we don't build up our industry and our science. So we're going to pull back. That's what we're going to do. So this Dutch islands, this infantry here, I'm actually going to add to the Soviet front up here. Strengthen that a bit, because I don't like how many troops they've got there. Again, I don't expect them to be planning an early war, but it's a little scary. We've got enough points for something else. Prince of Terror, and we could go and take more Chinese bits and pieces over here, but we got the really valuable stuff right now, and I think we're gonna hold off. Well, reinforce the Soviet border is done. We're not gonna get any of the expansions. Instead, we're gonna grab spiritual mobilization over here, which gives us more recruitable population and leads to some really good ideas. So some resources here. The important thing is that we do border France over here, which is going to give us some cool options later on. Not to mention Hong Kong, Macau. Well, Portugal will probably stay independent throughout, so maybe Macau will stay Macau. But Hong Kong, Zhuan over here will be good grabs later on when stuff really starts to get chaotic. Yeah, I'm not really feeling the need to go over here. Plus, it'll just boost world tension. So the idea with this is the democratic nations are really limited in what they can do while world tension is low. So as a fascist nation, you tend to want to keep the world tension low to, to delay, you know, the allies really getting allied up. In particular, I think the US, there's a lot of national focuses they can't take while the world tension is low. I might be wrong about that. I think there's certain government choices they can't do. Some policies over here. Anyway, so our buildup on the Soviet border triggered an event for the Soviets, and they chose Soviet withdrawal, which I haven't seen before. After detecting our troop buildup, the Soviets wisely chose to withdraw their forces from the areas immediately adjacent to the Manchurian border. Our soldiers have temporarily occupied several of their abandoned border outposts. This will hopefully put an end to the ludicrous border claims the Russians and their Mongolian allies have been putting forward. Show of force is all it took. We get more national unity. I don't think that actually changes our border. But there it is. Soviets show weakness. Yeah, last time they did not show weakness. And I think we lost national unity or got something else. So, I like Prince of Terror for reducing the partisan effect, but I don't think we've got that problem right now. I think what we want is an industrial concern over here. Kawasaki Industrial Concern gives us a negative 10% industrial research time, which is nice. It's worth noting, though, that if we go down the right-hand side of the tree over here to synthetic oil focus, this will give us the ability to recruit a different industrial concern, the Idemitsu Kosen Refining Concern, which still gives us a 5% decrease to research time, just as the Kawasaki does, but gives us an additional minus 10% for synthetic. I don't really see the point in waiting for this guy, though. He's not strong enough to really convince me, because this will give us 10% to all industry, which includes the oil refining. So this guy here is 5% for most industrial, and 15% for synthetic. This is 10% across the board. So I kind of like this. We could alternatively grab infantry research decreases and things like that, but the industrial stuff is quite handy. We are on a cusp of 37, so we're going to want to start on this next row really soon. So I kind of like that idea, so that's what I'm going to do. Kawasaki. Let's go up to speed 4. So tough to figure out what to do with some of these troops. Soviet withdrawal! After the buildup of Japanese forces in Manchuria, the Soviet Union appears to have unexpectedly withdrawn units that were stationed right alongside the border. This may be a bid by Moscow to avoid further confrontation with Japan, possibly triggered by the stinging memory of the defeat Russia endured in the Russo-Japanese War. Those cowards fled. I wonder if that gives them like a negative modifier somewhere? No. Alright, and what are they working on right now? Finish the 5-year plan. US, Central America. So they are going down this area over here. More democratic support. That's another interesting idea. I mean, they're supported, but Venezuela, who is fascist. When we create our faction, can we get Venezuela to join? We don't have to boost party popularity. We could improve relations, but I don't want to spend my power with that. We're gonna have to check that out. We see how the Nordics are doing? Sure. I mean, right now, like, Finland, Sweden, and Norway, that none of them have unique trees. They just have the de facto trees, so they're gonna do whatever, you know. Finland's getting some infrastructure. It'll make it easier for Russia to roll in there with their tanks. It's very kind of Finland to think about that. Germany's doing more industrial efforts. Little Entente. Wait. Can I not click on this for information? Aww. Mutually exclusive with Go with Britain. So, France is not joining the Allies. I mean, they can still join the Allies later. No! They're creating their own faction! That's fucking fantastic! That's fantastic! France is not going to be in the Allies. They're creating their own faction. I mean, you know, they don't have a ton of territory over here. It does mean that Germany's gonna, like, roll... I mean, there might still be wars against the UK, because Germany, like, is likely to declare war on Poland, which is, you know, going to be probably guaranteed by the UK, so Germany will probably still be in a war against the UK. Like, I don't know what we can do about that entirely. Can we make the hop to Madagascar and then around the corner into Africa? It's pretty dicey. But it means whoever starts guaranteeing independence to different people, we're probably only going to have to fight one at a time. Oh, we are going to see where this shakes out. I'm still not doing anything yet. I'm quite happy to be building up our industry at this point. Research finished for the carrier version of our fighters. Really good. So these planes are too far ahead in time. We can't go for them yet. We could go for the heavier planes over here. It's worth noting none of these can be mounted on carriers, though. So I'm probably going to ignore these. I do want to get the next level of destroyer. Is it 37 yet? No. Be a little early to start. We could go a little ahead of time, but it's a little early. We probably got some mountain divisions at some point, though. We could go and get the next level of light tank. I'm not sure if armor's really in our future. If we were going against the Soviet Union, which might happen at some point, then yeah, maybe the light armor. But right now, I'm not really feeling it, although we do have a few divisions that use them. I think the thing to do is going to be to unlock the destroyer, which we know we're going to want a lot of. And we want to be able to build the next level of destroyers. Doctrines, yeah, that's true too. But I like unlocking the units first, you know, when they're not ahead of time. Unlock the units so that I can start building the units, and then get the doctrines closer to wartime, because the doctrines are an instant upgrade. We'll see how it goes. You know, easy for the French Indonesian rubber. Yeah, well, we're going to wait until some of this locks in here. And we're going to see exactly what goes on. Also, if the nationalist Spain can win over here, that would be quite nice, because that would be another potential fascist ally way over here. And doctrines do take a really long time. But the other thing we can get is we can get doctrine reducing people, right? Like Grand Battle Plan Expert, because I think that's what we are by default. We could change. Yeah, we're Grand Battle Plan. So if we saved up 250 political points, we could grab the Grand Battle Plan Expert for the 10% discount plus army experience, or we could go a little cheaper and grab the Military Theorist over here. It's only 150 points, gives us 7% discount. Same amount of experience points over here. And so we could just wait until we've got one of those before we start powering down the doctrines. Send some volunteers to Spain now? Yeah, I mean, we're not doing anything. Took Italy almost a full year to take Ethiopia. For shame, Italy. No, you know what? I like that the world tensions dropped. Because if I send some volunteers over here, it would be nice to get a fascist here, though, wouldn't it? How many volunteers can I send you? I can send 4. So I'd want good ones. I could send 4 tanks. That's what I did in my other campaign. Or maybe 4 mobile infantry. It'd probably take forever to get them over there, though. America's in Spain? Well, America did send... Well, we don't see that. Did we? America did send some volunteers, or there were some Americans volunteering over here. Send the Marines so they get experience. That's an interesting point. And they basically fight like infantry. I don't think I can send planes. I mean, I can lend-lease planes, is what I could do. I could send them some of our plane production. Spain probably won't help much. Well, that's not true. Because what if we go to war against France? If we can get Spain in our faction while we're in a war against France, they'd probably just get their ass kicked by France, actually. %2 threat. Alright, we're going to do it. And yeah, we'll get more experience. So we're going to do that. Did increase a little bit of world tension. But I don't want nationalist Spain to lose. It would actually be really annoying if they did. It looks like they're winning. But what the hell? Does it tell me when it'll arrive? 26th of November. It's only going to take us like 10 days to get there. That's pretty impressive. Yeah, like France and the Netherlands would not surrender right now. There's not enough victory points over here. And I mean, we could occupy it and still get the stuff, but that's not as good as actually properly surrendering. Oh! Reorganized Nationalist China just popped. Were they not fascist before or something? I don't know what that means. They changed their government. Ah, our troops have arrived. So, our Spanish volunteers, we still control them, are sitting right over here at this port. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to help maybe make the push for Madrid. No, wait. Stop. Front line. I'm going to draw a front line here. And an offensive line for Madrid. I mean, I could manually run you guys as well. But we're going to get you in position a little bit sooner. And I might, rather than execute the plan, I actually consider just right-clicking to go. Ooh, concentrated industry is done, and we're basically at 37. So I'm going to go to construction 2 for 10% construction speed boost. There we go. We're already fighting over here. And we'll just, so they're not prepped. They're not getting the planning bonus, although the commander's still feeling pretty confident. We'll wait for this little battle to end. Are these mountains? They are mountains. I don't have Alpine troops, but... Alright, go. Support weapons. Excellent. That's an upgrade to most of our unit types right now. So we're not at 38 yet. I don't need the radio yet. So we're going to grab the next level of concentrated industry for more factory output. Yeah, do the Marines get a stat difference in mountains as well? So I guess if we edit this, Fort Marsh, looks like Marines, no, they don't get any bonus, any extra change for mountains. Okay, the Little Entente, this is really interesting. Again, we're playing with non-historical AI here. Seeking to form a united front against common enemies, France has reached out to Czechoslovakia with an offer of forming a Little Entente to unite against common enemies, thereby foregoing their bonds with Britain from the Great War. While offering a place in the defensive pact, the British Prime Minister, in the defensive pact, the British Prime Minister has made it clear that Britain does not consider the alliance beneficial to the protection of European liberty. France has nevertheless established diplomatic ties with other nations that might feel threatened, and are encouraging unity for the sake of keeping the diplomatic balance in Europe and preventing future conflict. Only time will tell if they can succeed. That is fascinating. National focus. So we finished our spiritual mobilization, which gives us more recruitable population. Jumped up quite a bit. So now we have to decide if we rush directly for the research slot. Along the way, we get a discount to land doctrine research time, which is nice. But I think I'm going to go Imperial Authority into Industrial Effort to get more factories, to get that snowballing before the research starts snowballing. So yeah, France is in the French Entente Alliance with Czechoslovakia. And now you're working on military factories. Oh, France. Encourage colonial elite. You're doing a lot of overseas bullshit there, UK. I don't know how I feel about that. Oh, that's just reduced research time. And at some point you might decide to fortify East Asia, which would be a little annoying, but I guess that's fine. Germany, what are you up to? You're going to befriend Japan. Interesting. Soviet Union armament efforts, okay. And then these guys don't really have anything special going on. United States. WPA is what? I don't like that you can't click on this for description. Gives them political power, though. Meanwhile, the push towards Madrid, we have definitely made progress. Actually, I'm not sure, but we are advancing in these particular fights over here. Mountain fights take a little bit longer. Good defensive bonuses. So let's take a look at our research here. What do we got? Well, I guess we're going to go for the machine tools for a more efficiency bonus. That'll be nice. It's okay. You got like 3 months, or maybe a month or something like that, for the research. You don't have to worry about clicking on it right away. People are like, need to chill out a bit. So Madrid is worth the most victory points in the Civil War. It's worth 30, although up here, it says Catalonia, but yeah, Barcelona is worth 15. I don't remember if Valencia's 5, 1. Yeah, mostly if you've got Madrid and Barcelona, I think that's enough. They have 80% unity, which is pretty high, but there's not a whole hell of a lot left beyond that. And it really looks like the Republicans are going to win there. As Italy, there's actually an interesting set of decisions over here. If you've got some volunteers in Spain, you can then run the Support Nationalist Spain focus, which then opens up the possibility of a Spanish-Italian alliance and potentially even befriending Portugal, or demanding the Balearic Islands instead for Italy. All right, advancing well here. Wonderful. Okay, so we don't really have to babysit that. Production is fine everywhere else. We're not planning another assault. We do have claims that we can press. I suppose if we took Shanxi over here, we would get more of a border with Mongolia. But I mean, they don't have air bases. They don't have resources. If they join some other faction, I don't know if that really matters to me. How come Siam doesn't like me? Different ideology. Oh, well, they went non-aligned. Okay, I think we are going to keep them pressured towards fascist, even though that's going to eat some of my points. I think it'll be quite nice if Siam joins our faction once we form it. It'll give us a bit of a buffer against the Raj, against France, more UK bits over here. Yeah, it would be nice to take care of the communists over here. I don't know what the Soviets would do. I don't know if they would join the common term. That would be a little bit bad. So we can modify the government. I have to decide if we're going to be saving up for the Grand Battle Plan expert or grabbing one of the research techs right away. Or even a chief of an army, right? More division attack, faster recovery rate. I don't know if I care about the training time. I think it's probably a good idea to save up for the battlefield expert. I think that's going to be good. Also, between wars right here might be a great time for us to go and add in our support artillery onto our infantry, which does give them a lot more punching power. So I'm going to save that, and then most likely we'll now be low on artillery. Not that low. We have been slowly producing artillery from the start of the game. So we are going to be able to pad out our infantry with that. That's very nice. Oh, and actually, our Marines... You don't have... Oh, no, you do have the Engineering Company. Good. Engineering Company gives you a boost to amphibious attack. I don't think we're going to add any other components there. You could get the Marines to have a lot more punching power if you did go ahead and give them an artillery division. It does make them heavier, and they need a lot more... they need more transport. Not a ton more. I'm wondering if it's worth it. What am I drinking? Just coffee. Oh, see-through coffee. In a green cup. Are we being pushed back over here? I'm not advancing anymore. I'm just trying to hold Madrid for now. Looks like the nationalists are making their run on Barcelona, which is good. I think I probably could go, and I'm going to stop execution of the battle plan. Take care of that in a moment. I'm going to draw a new offensive front line right over there. And what the hell? Actually, let's go ahead and tell them to move forward so we can push to this river over here, and that'll probably be quite nice. We just got a tip in. Where's that? Right over here. Orca Commander. QPA equals work, or WPA equals Work Progress Administration, part of the New Deal effort to reduce unemployment through public work projects like infrastructure, parks, and schools. Employed a couple million people. Ah, it's one of those government acronym letter programs or whatever. I'm going to do industrial effort now, get more factories up and running. I mean, research is good, but the sooner you get civilian factories up and running, the faster you can build more civilian factories and so on. Looks like we finished all our Marines. So we don't have anything in training right now. We do have a big surplus of infantry equipment. So the question is, what do we build at this point? More conventional infantry? Maybe. I mean, we definitely need more of a presence over here. Although, right now, we're a little bit restricted in supply route. If we take a look at the supply map mode... Oh, no, we've got plenty of supply, actually. I'm quite surprised. And later on, there's a focus that will give us a bunch more infrastructure over here. So I think I will actually produce more conventional infantry to pile up on this border, just in case we decide to go to war against Soviet or the People's Republic of China and the USSR jump in. So we're going to get maybe 3 infantry, just, you know, sort of slowly being produced. I'm going to get them to appear here, but then automatically go and join this front. Thank you. And we're almost at 250 political power. Meanwhile, how's it going in Spain? Oh, we pushed up to the river. Excellent. I think what I'm going to do is help the push towards Barcelona at this point. So I'm going to delete all the orders. I'm going to draw a new front line over here. And then give an offensive line command to go there, especially since some nationalist troops are isolated right now. So my troops are going to use strategic redeployment to get over there. I'm going to give them a tick to get their organization back, which is now coming in. And you can go ahead and start moving forward when ready. Push towards Barcelona. I could also manually tell them to do things or whatever, but I think we'll be okay. And once Barcelona falls, that should be the end of the Civil War. So we've accrued a little bit of experience, both like army experience up here, as well as experience on our units. They're regular, but they are gaining XP towards the next level. I don't know what the next level is called. Elite? Getting some elite Marines sounds like the sort of thing that might be helpful for us. I think the world tension will rise when the Civil War ends. I'm not sure. I mean, I guess in a sense it would be logical if it dropped. All right, we still need synthetic oil at some point. I can build level 1 refineries now, actually, so I can wait. I don't need the resource extraction. I don't think that's what we're looking for. I will make the jump on radio to move into radar after this, so that we can build at least 1 radar station on the Soviet front. The Soviet front is really, like, huge, especially, like, the air. Look at this. This is Eastern Siberia air zone. So it's actually not really feasible for airplanes to cover much. There's much of a denser zone over here, the Russian Far East. But again, there's a lack of air bases in general, so I don't know how critical the radar will be, but it might be helpful. Still pushing forward over here. Excellent. Everything's being held here. Good. And we've got just enough points to grab our Grand Battle Plan Expert. 10% discount to the Grand Battle Plan Doctrine, which is the one we're doing. And we'll get a bunch of free army experience, which allows us to shuffle around all of our ground divisions pretty extremely as we go forward, which is going to be nice. That was a big expense, but I think it's worthwhile. We got our next level of destroyer research. Wonderful. I want to start producing these level 2 destroyers now. We could research the Yamato class right now. They will take a long time to build, of course, so it might be worth getting started on that. These heavy battleships. But. We don't have the next level artillery, and that's pretty goddamn valuable. You know what? Let me go and get the level 2 light tank. Then I'll switch my production over to do that. Slowly trickle in. We're not going to do a lot of light tanks, but it will be nice to have some along the Soviet front. Or, you know, some of the French fronts. And I mean, once we've got a toehold in a country, then we can move all our regular troops there. Obviously, the Marines will have to get things started. Okay. So, Germany apparently was working on the Anti-Comintern Pact. What are they working on now? Nothing yet. And they want to know if I'll join. This basically says that the communists are big poopy heads. I'm going to say yes. I agree that the communists are big poopy heads. And Germany's going to like me a bit more. Alternatively, we could just upset Germany. Do that. National focus completed. Okay, so we've got some free factories over here. In 3 provinces, we got a free civilian factory. Now I'm going to go up to the student movement, which is going to give us a discount to land doctrine research, followed by the extra research slot. And then we'll definitely start powering through the land doctrines. It's going to be great. The Hindenburg had a close call, you guys. I mean, it's fine, but it may have had a disaster. There was a diesel leak. My God, that would have been terrible. Oh, the humanity. But luckily, the Hindenburg survived.